Ladies and gentlemen, hello, this is Ahdoom and welcome back to another exciting episode of Let's Play Darkest Dungeon, The Crimson Curse, and I hope in this episode we've finally gotten our sound right with my voice sounding, deep and baritone and relaxed and much more like my normal self rather than the tinny horror event to experience in the last few videos. If you're a new viewer, welcome. You're arriving at a better time. If you're an old and recurring viewer, thank you guys so much for putting up with my nonsense. I've just been trying to get my audio settings right so that things would be better for you guys to play. In the meantime, in this episode, we'll be looking at doing a fairly low-level Weald crawl to try and get some treasure for ourselves and level up a few lowies. The particular focus for us is to get a second Jester up into level 3s and 4s, so we can afford to get one Jester up to a level 5, as well as keeping on with upgrading Flagellants, and progress towards a broader goal of having one level 6 of every class, with the Antiquarian being the focus of this particular moment. In the meantime, it's time for us to carry on into the dungeon. I'm not going to do too much of a character review beyond saying that Dwy is currently craving the blood and that everyone else has had the majority of their squishiness ameliorated up to a point. Bring along 4 blood with us into this dungeon because I think that's all we're going to actually need. Given that it's also a short, I'll just bring the 1 key, the 1 holy water, the 1 medicinal herbs. Oops, that didn't quite work out because we already have one. 2 shovels, a stack of torches, and a stack of food. Can probably do with less of all these things, but I like to be safe rather than sorry, and in fact, just to add some things up with the short... No, you know what? This should be fine. This should be fine. This should be fine. I'll just bring 1 more key, and 1 more holy water, low medicinal herbs, and let's press on. So as always, I just want to thank you guys for stopping by and watching these videos. I know I can be a bit of a pest sometimes, but I like to think that you guys have some fun watching these. I certainly have a lot of fun making them, which is, really why I bother to record them and put them on the internet and, watch them and, do stuff with the content. I look to put together a highlights reel at some stage in the near future when I have the time and I can get some decent video editing software. Unfortunately, Windows 10 is not amazing for anything other than Premiere or Final Cut. And with that all said, let's press on into the dungeon.
Sapping all good life from these groves.
Okay, so our routing for this mission is pretty clear. We have to complete 100% of rune battles, but it's not a huge dungeon by any measure, so we should be just tickety-boo. 80% chance to disarm, that is, I think, the highest we're going to get. It is. Let's take that from the Jester, and unfortunately, he fails. He fails, but resists the Blight, which is the critical thing. Just to roleplay things through, I'm going to have the Antiquarian shuffling around for loots, because in my own silly head I have this strange deluded notion that oh she's wasting, let's feed her up. I have this strange and silly notion that when I have the Antiquarian look at different things that I have a better chance to get awesome treasures. It's a silly notion, but it's just a superstition. And everyone has their own gaming superstitions. If you have a gaming superstition, feel free to let me know what absurdity it is that you practice in the comments below. Pressing through, we don't know what's coming for us. I know that we do need bandages for this, but I believe it gives us poison or blight as the effect. Blight resists are pretty low on this whole party right now. 50 is currently the highest, but it's going to be taken on the Vestal, has a higher disease resist as well. Nothing of interest and nothing to worry about there. As much as I will roleplay, the Antiquarian is the person who finds all the best loots. Oh, trap! And that is a blight done, regrettably. I'm not going to risk her life unnecessarily. Okay, first battle we have a Madman, an Acolyte, and 2 Scratchers, and we have the jump on them as well, which is just fine by me. Pretty moderate stress levels, so I'm probably going to start things off by getting some damage done on that Acolyte. 5 damage and a bit of bleed as well, not too shabby at all, and I think I can finish this off with the Flagellant. 6 damage done, and yes, she is dead as dead can be. That Madman will shuffle forward to position 3, which is exactly what I want. Now, next up, I can do some back row damage to top up some health that I've taken, some damage that I've taken from those blights, and I think that is a pretty good call. Of course, I'll try for the stun, but given the chance for an insta-kill, I'm going to take it. Not quite enough, though, unfortunately. Only 10 damage taken, but 10 damage is a pretty good lick for an opening start. Next thing we can do is try and look for some damage potentials. Not quite enough of that blight. Let's just do it anyway. Let's try and get some early damage in with this lovely lady here. That Mad will do me 1 attack, but will not survive for the next turn, which is just fine. Just fine by me. bit of stress goes across the party, but that's what the Jester is for. And Groping Swing goes down on the Antiquarian, 3 damage taken, and no other ill effects. Groping Swing once again on her, 5 damage this time, and she's going to be a likely candidate for some healing from my Vestal. Alrighty, let's take care of some of this stress we've built up. And the Jester is the best candidate for that, being on 30, down to 19 now, which is just fine in my books. Wow, yeah, the narrator is really chatty today. Great hit from the Flagellant. Fantastic from the Flagellant. Those bleeds do come through with rapidity. Their chance to resist the blight is pretty high, so we'll just do damage the old-fashioned way with the Antiquarian, and in the Vestal's turn it is a focused heal on position 2 just to keep her alive. Jolly good, and that Scratcher is dead in the next turn. Groping Swing does go down and is dodged. Very fortunately, RNG's smiles, but not for long, with moderate damage coming down with a 4. That's just fine by me. Let's take care of some of the stress this poor little Vestal has accrued, and I'll consider whether or not we need to be doing a focused heal or a party heal. Only 3 damage this time to the Scratcher, not a crit by any measure, but his bleed resist has been reduced. With that said though, I'll just have a bit of a jab there. Damage the old-fashioned way sometimes is the best way, and I will try for a stun. If it takes, I'll be grateful. Yes, I am. Lovely jubbly, and this chap is almost dead. Not guaranteed dead, but almost dead. He will very nearly be gone in his next turn. I think I can probably do the healing I need with a party heal, so let's take that now, and that is a 4. Beautiful, everyone is topped up, and let's seal the deal. Ooh, might get a turn in with Jester. Nice. Yes, who is carrying a heavy burden of stress? Well, the Jester. And we are done for this combat, ending, yeah, quite nicely. Let's buff the Flagellant's prot just for giggles. And we are clear and done. Nice, and another minor antique as well to add to the collection. Let's press on down southwards to see what we have to see going through this. I know that short dungeons are a bit of a waste for Antiquarian's abilities. She really starts coming to her own on long dungeons because all those curios and whatnots stack beautifully. But with that all said, I'm out of position, and these guys are not surprised, so I might have to deal with some problems. What I will do though is buff speed to start things off, because A, I'm in the right position for it, and B, it's the best of all available options. Great dodge on the Flagellant, and I'm expecting these attacks to come through thick and fast. We'll move to give the Antiquarian a turn. Grave Nibble drops on the Jester, but is dodged absolutely fabulously. Grave Nibble now on the Vestal. She's a critted for 6 damage. That's a pretty healthy swath of stress, but no stun, fortunately. And then once again on the slippery sucker of a Vestal, who's absolutely doing his job. No one can deny that. Try for the insta-kill, it doesn't matter where, because when they die, their bodies shuffle. All good, all good, all good. Alright, let's do that again, because this Antiquarian has a need for speed. Fantastic, and punish in for 1 kill. Hopefully that bleed takes. It does, and one chappie is definitely dead. Let's take care of some stress on that Vestal after the misery of an attack she got before, and she's getting there. We will do the proper judgment position 1 just to finish these guys off. It's a crit. It's an epic heal. It's stress reduction. It's everything. You know, you laugh, you cry, you wet yourself slightly. It's a happy day. And a fresh minor antique to add to the collection.
A victim to the spreading corruption.
And a couple of heirlooms. Should really be doing that with my Antiquarian to keep my head cannon rolling, but sometimes you forget, and that's okay. It's all about having fun after all. It's a game. We're here to enjoy ourselves. In theory. I guess in this game we're here to be punished horribly by the game engine. Alright, bite goes down to the Jester, and it's a dodge, dodgety dodge, dodge, dodge. Let's take out the one that still has an action left. 5 damage, and that bleed should take. It does take, and he is a goner. Do a quick scan through to see who has high stress, and it is the Jester, which is fine. We can do something about that. Down to only 2 stress, which is fantastic. Might try and drop a stun on these guys, because I've got to think, yeah, they've got a good chance it's going to take, and I don't mind boosting up my torch levels. Save the torches. It's like saying save the children. Bit of gold, a pretty irrelevant stun stone, and yet another treasure. Nice. We'll open this up with the Antiquarian and see what the Beast Carcass has in store. And it's not too bad a haul. Bit of food, and yet another minor antique. Again, antiquarians just help with money. And who do we have here? A bunch of bloodsuckers, 2 supplicants, 2 sycophants, and a host of problems to deal with. Fortunately, the first attack is dodged. Next attack, the Maddening Wine, does 2 damage and will amp the stress on that Vestal, unfortunately. And I think I'm going to try and get a kill. Yes, I am. Tried and succeeded. Great stress reduction there on the party as well. Looking at what our options are, we're out of position for that Jester to do anything that's incredibly good because I've been a silly so-and-so and forgotten. Is anyone rocking any massive stress? Just the Vestal, we may as well take it, or alternatively we can party buff. Don't mind if I do, and that speed increase should come in very handy. Let's focus down on that Sycophant if we can. Again, only 4 damage taken, and even with that bleed we still need to do 4 more damage to get to where we need to be. Hoping to avoid any additional curses this round, and we do resist. Gather Blood goes down to the Jester, and 4 damage taken, and no other ill effects. Let's take down that Sycophant now. 6 damage and the bleed should get them across the line. And next up, again, it's going to be 1 more party buff to get our speed up, get our attacks in first, and get all of the damage done. Beautiful critical hit. Love that critical buff. Plus 6% critical chance is just a thing of absolute beauty. We could try and do some damage here, and we'll probably get in with the... Okay, that's 6 damage, and I will probably get the kill with the Flagellant. 4 damage and the bleeds. Yes, okay, so the round is ours. Done. So rather than talking about being in the right position, I'm actually going to be in the right position now. Yep, that's... Oops, not with you. We will do that with the Antiquarian because, well, even though it's trapped, we resisted because the Antiquarian is just lucky. RNG Jesus smiles upon her. He casts his beneficent face on all of her virtues and lets her find treasures in the depths of the dungeon. Okay, let's press on through and see what we have to see in this heirloom crate. Well, heirlooms, as well as a bit of free treasure. Not too shabby. We have a holy water, which means we can get a positive quirk. The question is, who needs positive quirks most of all? This Jester I know I'm going to be keeping in the long term. This Vestal I know I'm going to be keeping with the long term. And for the long term, let's do it to the Vestal. Yes. Troubling Effigy, powerful effect. What do you give me? Eldritch Slayer. Happy with that. Happy with that. No problem there at all. Unfortunately, we drop down into Dim Light, which is going to negate the effect of our cloak, and they get the early attack in. 2 damage made on the Vestal will boost our Torchlight up to Radiant again to make sure we're getting full benefit of all of our things. Not going to worry inordinately at this stage about... Not going to worry inordinately about stress. I could do party buffs, and that's a pretty good start. We could do some fairly minor bleeds to these guys. That said, it does ramp up, but let's start with the party buffs. Maybe not the right call, but I love critical hits. Critical hits make my heart sing, and those are the ones I'm going to do. Unfortunately, that move is going to cause me some problems, especially with that Vestal now marked. If I can move her out of position, I will, and I have. Precondition goes down on the Jester, and unfortunately that Blight does take, as does a debuff, but that does not mean that we can't start doing some meaningful damage to the Gatekeeper. 4 damage done, plus 4 bleed to come, and next turn he will be meeting his end, one hopes. Resist and no ill effects, which is just fine by me. Can we get the kill on this guy? Oh, we can! That Gatekeeper is dead in his next round, which is just absolutely dandy in my books. Let's take care of some stress on that Vestal to make sure she stays pert, happy, and sound of mind. And carrying on, we'll take a chance of the Thirst, but it's dodged absolutely beautifully by the Antiquarian, who gets to strike back and do 7 damage nicely there. 5 damage left to go, and that should be a kill. They'll shuffle forward, and those supplicants are not long for this world. We'll drop a judgment on position number 2 for 10 beautiful damage. Oh, that's sweet. Unfortunately, we won't be enough to get the kill in, but we are certain that he is a goner. Gather Blood goes down, but she dodges, and 1 more time on the same target, and it's 4 damage this time, but no ill effects, which is, again, just fine by me. This Jester is sitting on, like, 21 health, so he's down by 6. Is anyone rocking any major stress? Yeah, look, we can keep helping out that poor, benighted Vestal. Help her find her center, you know, put her on a yoga retreat, who knows. let's finish off this chappy here with a lovely strike. One less action for us to worry about in the next turn. Probably drop a party heal down just to spread out our heals as well as we can. And we get some stress relief out of the mix as well. Bit of damage there, only 3. But those bleeds do count for an awful lot. Gather the Blood will drop on him though, and it's dodged wonderfully. Flagellant's got no time for that nonsense. No time, no sorry Bob. Alright, not much we can really do here beyond a party buff or taking care of minor stress. Let's just take care of minor stress for the moment. That plays as a fairly good tactic. And my gosh, my throat is getting just a little sore and dusty. Look, let's keep the heals going on that Jester, and that plays out beautifully. Only one character is rocking any strats, and it's 4. Boom.
Success so clearly in view.
Nicely done.
Really a trick of the light?
Nicely done, guys. Alright, pressing on, what do we have to face? A Curio with 4 Nashers. They'll get the jump on me, more than likely, but there's no reason why I can't try and get some kills in early. 7 damage, and with that bleed, yep, at least one is dead. Gorgeous. Rapid Rush goes down on the Vestal, and she takes a crit for 5, but again, it is not the end of the world. It's not a super uber crit, just an old-fashioned crit. 2 damage on the Rapid Rush again, and a bleed does take on the Antiquarian, and they'll try it on the Flagellant as well, but he's too speedy. Alright, that Jester is out of position yet again, because I'm a forgetful so-and-so, so I will buff these guys up to make sure we get the sweet, sweet crits that we desperately need. Let's get some damage done on the back position. Not enough for a kill, but I'm sure the Antiquarian can finish things off. Yes, she can. Yes, she can. Fantastic. Now, she takes a little bit of bleed and has a little bit more to come. No chance for an insta-kill here, but we may as well help out. Nicely done. Torch levels are looking fine, and we don't have much more left of the dungeon, so we'll just do a bit of judgment there. Critical for 17, just fine, and a bit of stress should go as well. Let's clear off, well, nothing. Just keep party buffing. Keep party buffing until you can't party buff no more. That's what I always used to say. 7 damage done, and that Nasher is dead and buried, and we've got nothing else to do. Fine by me, ladies and germs. Fine by me.
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Alright, and everything is still stacking gorgeously. I can free up a slot by using a bandage, which I probably should have used a few rounds ago, but unfortunately I had my view in map, I believe. Meantime, we have a corridor battle and another room battle, and that will finish off this dungeon handily. Another pack of bloodsuckers, which is regrettable, because these guys are just unpleasant to deal with, but that doesn't mean I can't get some decent damages started off. Let's start a harvest, again, just to spread out those bleeds and maximize the damage we're doing over time. The thirst drops down on the Jester, and it's 3 damage. But no other ill effects, which is fortunate. With the choices we have, we're going to focus on the Gatekeeper. 7 damage done and 4 bleed to come. Not enough to kill, but it will be soon. Oh, actually, yeah, it will be. Raging Sight goes down on the Jester, 3 damage taken, and unfortunately he's out of position now, which is very regrettable, especially given the mark that he's got on him. Might just focus a heal up there if I can. Might not be a bad call. Alternatively, I could try and stun that Sycophant and buy myself some time. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. 4 damage taken, Torch is up, and the Sycophant is out of action for a turn. And so we still have to worry about the Supplicants. Predigestion goes down to the Vestal, and it's 5 damage and a Blight to boot. But again, we've got the time to make the right calls here. We may as well. Let's try and get some damage done on the Supplicant. Damage taken. Just need to get another 3 damage to get this guy dead. Predigestion goes down on the Jester, and he resists all ill effects. Come what may, this guy has the will to live, and again, we need to get functionally 3 damage done. It's a win. Alright, that Supplicant is dead. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's use the Jester to move back to his appropriate position and let us take some better turns. Could go for a kill on that Sycophant, and I think I will. 5 damage made, and the bleed takes. Yup, that Sycophant will not be stressing me out today, tomorrow, or any other day of the week. Let's get a poppy heal going, up by 3s across the board, which takes care of some of the damage we've accrued, but not all of it by any measure. That Gatekeeper is also a goner, and the only person we have to worry about this turn and next is that Supplicant. But the Jester is too fast to worry about his nonsense. Yes, sorry, Bob. Just going to quickly adjust my microphone and look at our next best course of action. This guy has 2 bleed coming in. We can possibly get the kill on him, to be entirely honest. I'm not sure that's what he wants. Let's debuff his accuracy while we faff some turns away. And we need to look at where we're carrying some stress. It is all on Mr. Jester, but that is just fine. Again, I'm not sure if I want a party buff. Sorry, a party heal the next turn or not. Alright, let's just do a quick shuffle to waste a turn. And that blight should now be almost done. Let's do a focused heal on the Jester for 20, which is just fine by me. And my Supplicant, I think, is ready to get killed, hopefully by my Vestal, who will have an early turn. Let's keep debuffing to make sure that he keeps missing. We're in turn 4, so I am fine to be doing this level of faffing. Again, it's relatively irrelevant, but we will just take care of that 4 stress because I want the kill to come from her, so she can heal herself up, or not. No, I'm going to waste the turns for now. Gather the blood goes down, and it's dodged, because of course it is. You've got negative 24 hit points, and to finish things off, our coup de grace is a judgment, 5 damage made, and 6 health restored. We are all good everywhere.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Gonna get rid of that food because it is just an excessive quantity of it. Everyone is in their right and righteous positions, and it's time for us to press on bravely. Unburned torch just gives me an unburned torch, which is just fine. Heirlooms will pick us up a couple of deeds and some sundries there. Torch up to take full advantage of the items we have, and we have one last final battle room with a bunch of slippery spiders for us to take care of. Alright, now, given the option to get an insta-kill, we've got to focus down on it. Let's make that happen. 5 damage if that bleed takes. No, it does not, sadly. Web goes down on the... Ooh, it's dodged. Good dodge. Good boy. Good self-abusing, misogynist, well, masochist. Spit goes down, and 3 damage is taken. Resist and resist. No ill effects whatsoever. Let's close a kill on this Weber now. Unfortunately, it's a dodge, and these guys are being slippery spiders. As in the days of old. Unfortunately, my Vestal is now marked, which means she's going to take some just nasty damage like that blight, as well as 100 other miserable things. Fortunately, my guys can fight back. They can fight back in a strong and meaningful manner. Oh, that Antiquarian is just getting attack after attack. That bleed should hopefully take, and it does. That guy is definitely dead, and without much else to do, let's buff the party. Alright, so should we self-heal or should we just take this guy out? Alternatively, we can try and stun him, and that isn't a bad call. That buys me some time, and again, I don't have to worry about health because this is the last room. This is the last room, and all I need to do is ensure that we are getting the kills that we so rightly deserve. Let's keep buffing the party's speed up and doing some damage. That's it, that's done. Everything is taken care of. And look at the haul of blood that we picked up.
Brought low and driven into the mud.
My god, 7 blood, and we brought like, what, 3 or 4 in? It's not too shabby at all. Not that blood is the most important thing. Gold. Gold is the most important thing. Let's see how we did in the end of things.
Corruption is an endless battle, but one that must be fought.
Not an amazing haul of gold. Well, actually, it's coming up now. Alright, not too bad. 14k. Not complaining. Enjoying the pachinko parlor noises of all this stuff. We picked up 4 crests, 15 deeds, 2 portraits, and an abomination trinket that I'll probably get rid of at the first opportunity. In the meantime, on the upgrade front, no one has popped, which is actually quite useful because it lets me keep this antiquarian on low level dungeons. Curious is going to be a pain in the keister, and I'll probably try and get rid of it. Ponch Chardon has picked up Fury of the Unholy as well as Weald Tactician, which ain't too bad. And then yet another Weald Tactician on Tianel the Vestal. Alrighty then.
Your soldiers' minds are mired in malignancy. Fear has taken root.
Alright, despondency and ambivalence seem to be on the wind. Many adventurers confess to having a troubled disposition, even here in the relative safety of the hamlet. Well, that's a negative 15% virtue chance on the next quest, which we'll have to be mindful of. And since, oh my gosh, look at these stress levels just tanking down now that these guys are just passive in the... Oh, I love this. I'm so glad I spent money on that item in the district. What was that? The puppet theater? Yeah, I'm so glad that I spent that money. It was, sorry, those crests, it was so worthwhile. So worthwhile. Alright, so going back to the quest log, we've removed the soft on Bohun. Murdoch has removed kleptomania, thank God, that it drives me absolutely nuts. And then a lower virtue chance the next mission, which we need to pair some careful consideration to. In the meantime, we'll do a quick check of the stagecoach to see if there's anyone incredibly compelling for us to pick up, and the answer appears to be no, and negatory. Let's have a quick look at our general layouts, and I'm sure we have a few guys that are deserving some time in the sanitarium, provided it doesn't stop them from losing their stress. That is just fine by me, and in fact, I may even be ready for another attempt at the Baron. It's just the Baron I need to kill now. There is no more dungeon to worry about. It's just all Baron all the time. The question is, do I think I can do it? Do I have anything that's going to give me a bumper crop? That's the question. Fresh air in the tunnels. Alright, I've used up my bumper crop goodwill. That's it. I could try and go for a longer apprentice mission to give my friends a good chance at some loot and gold and everything else. Again, with an antiquarian, that starts to make great sense, but I will make that decision in the next episode. In the meantime, my name is Ahdoom. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you stopping by. If you like these videos and you aren't a subscriber, hit that subscribe button right now. If you'd like this video, hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it, as well as any other comments you wish to leave below. And if you guys are coming in late, feel free to hit that playlist right there on the screen and catch up from the beginning to see how we've gotten to this horrible state that we're in right now. Once again, my name is Ahdoom. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.